A man whistled into the tunnel. What happened next was utterly bizarre. Something deep within the pitch-black tunnel whistled back in response. He stared at the tunnel in confusion, then whistled again. This time, he only heard an ordinary echo. The man breathed a sigh of relief. But as he turned to leave, he stared at the tunnel in shock and was about to whistle again. Now the man was absolutely certain what he had heard before was definitely not an echo. Determined to find out who was whistling inside the tunnel, the man decided to investigate. When he emerged from the other end, however, there wasn't a soul in sight. He looked around, puzzled, then his gaze fixed on a backpack in the distance, his own backpack, the one he'd left at the tunnel entrance. But he'd just walked through the tunnel. How could he possibly be back where he started? This eerie discovery sent a chill through him. Bewildered, he walked through the tunnel again, returning to the entrance. To his horror, his backpack was still there in its original spot. Something was terribly wrong. He walked through the tunnel a third time. Outside, just as he feared, there was an identical backpack. The man was both baffled and deeply frightened. He grabbed the backpack and hurried away, desperate to escape the sinister tunnel. Minutes later, to his disbelief, he found himself facing the same tunnel again. He immediately changed direction, rushing off the opposite way. But no matter which direction he took, he always ended up back near the tunnel. Even after crossing a suspension bridge to another mountain peak, he could still see that cursed tunnel. Growing increasingly frantic, he ran wildly through the mountains, but he could never escape it. Without exaggeration, the eerie tunnel now seemed to surround him from every direction. The man gradually spiraled into desperation. He collapsed outside the tunnel, drained of all strength and hope. Just then, the whistling from deep within the tunnel seemed to deliberately beckon him. In a daze, the man followed the haunting whistle into the tunnel. Swallowed by the thick darkness, he never emerged again. Not long after, a hiker passed by the pitch-black tunnel and noticed the man's abandoned backpack and camera. The hiker picked up the camera, puzzled, wondering why these items had been left on the mountain. Suddenly, a whistle echoed from inside the tunnel. The hiker set the camera back down, grabbed his flashlight, and curiously entered the tunnel. As soon as he stepped inside, he heard what sounded like groaning or labored breathing. Instead of being frightened, the hiker followed the sound.